You're watching Story Scroll. Real stories, raw emotions, and endings you'll never forget. Let's scroll into today's tale.
My girlfriend of 2 years broke up with me, saying I wasn't ready for something serious. I said I understood. Now I'm wondering if I moved on too fast. I never thought I'd be writing one of these posts, but here I am, hoping strangers on the internet can give me clarity because my own thoughts are going in circles. My ex, F27, and I am 29, were together for just over 2 years. Not a casual relationship, not on and off. A real, committed, adult relationship, or at least I thought so. We lived separately but spent most nights together, talked daily, had met each other's families, and openly discussed the future. Marriage wasn't tomorrow, but it was definitely on the table. She was actually the one who brought it up first. For most of our relationship, things felt stable. We communicated well. We didn't scream during fights. We planned trips months ahead. She used to joke about how we'd argue over paint colors when we eventually moved in together. I believed we were building something. Then, about 4 months before the breakup, something shifted. She started replying slower. At first, it was small, an hour instead of 10 minutes. Then entire evenings would go by with one-word responses. She suddenly had a lot of late nights at work. Her phone, which used to sit face up on the table, was suddenly always face down. If I walked into the room, she'd lock it without thinking. When I asked if something was wrong, she always smiled and said, "No, I'm just tired. Work's been crazy." I believed her. I've always believed that if you love someone, you trust them unless they give you a clear reason not to. I didn't want to be the paranoid boyfriend. The breakup happened on a random Tuesday. She asked if we could talk after dinner. The second she said that, my stomach dropped. She couldn't look at me while she spoke. She said she had been doing a lot of thinking and that she didn't think I was ready for something this serious. I remember feeling genuinely confused. She went on to say she needed space to find herself and that maybe this was a case of right person, wrong timing. She said she felt like she was moving faster than me, even though, and this is what messed with my head, she had been the one pushing timelines. She was the one talking about moving in together next year. She was the one asking when I'd propose hypothetically. She was the one who insisted I meet her extended family. I asked her what I'd done wrong. She said, "Nothing. That's the problem." I didn't beg. I didn't yell. I didn't accuse her of anything. I just felt hollow. I told her that if she truly felt this way, I wouldn't force her to stay. I said, "I understand. If you're not ready, I won't pressure you." She cried. I held her. And just like that, 2 years ended. We exchanged things a few days later. It was awkward but civil. After that, I went no contact. Not as a punishment. I just didn't know how to talk to someone who had decided I wasn't enough for their future. About 3 weeks later, the truth came out. A mutual friend reached out to me, hesitant and apologetic. She asked if my ex and I were really done. When I said yes, she told me I deserved to know why. Turns out, my ex had been seeing a coworker for months. Not just flirting, actual dates, overnight stays when she claimed she was working late. Emotional cheating that slowly turned physical. Suddenly, everything clicked. The distance, the phone, the vague breakup speech. She didn't leave because I wasn't ready. She left because she had already lined up someone else and wanted a guilt-free exit if things worked out. I didn't confront her. Honestly, I didn't see the point. The version of her I loved didn't exist anymore. I blocked her everywhere and focused on surviving the aftermath. The weeks that followed were rough. I replayed every conversation, wondering how I missed it. I questioned my worth. I asked myself if I really had been too slow, too comfortable, too boring. Nights were the worst. Friends did their best, dragging me out, reminding me that cheating is a character flaw, not a reflection of my value. Eventually, one friend said something that stuck. You don't have to put your life on pause just because someone else messed up. So I decided to try dating again. Not looking for the one, not rushing into anything serious. Just reminding myself that I was still capable of connection, that I was still desirable, that I wasn't broken. That's when I met someone new. She was upfront from the start, clear about what she wanted, emotionally present, no mixed signals, no games. I didn't compare her to my ex. She was simply peaceful. And for the first time in months, I felt like myself again. Now here's where I'm stuck. A small part of me still hears my ex's words in my head, that I wasn't ready, that I should have waited, that timing was the issue. Even knowing about the cheating, I can't shake the guilt completely. So I'm asking Reddit, did I move on too fast? Was I wrong for not waiting for someone who implied she might come back when she was ready? Or am I just struggling to let go of a story that ended the moment she cheated? Any perspective would help. Update. First of all, thank you to everyone who commented on my original post. I didn't expect it to blow up the way it did, but reading through your responses genuinely helped ground me. A lot of you said I wasn't wrong for moving on and that cheating already ended the relationship long before the breakup talk. I needed to hear that. I wasn't planning to update so soon, but something happened that I honestly didn't see coming. Last night, around 11:40 p.m., my phone started ringing. It was her. I hadn't heard her voice or seen her name pop up on my screen in months. For a moment, I just stared at it, debating whether to answer. Curiosity won out. I told myself I could hang up if it went south. The second I said hello, she broke down. Not quiet sniffles. Full-on sobbing, gasping for air, the kind of crying where words come out broken and messy. It caught me completely off guard. This was the same woman who had calmly told me I wasn't ready for her. The same woman who had cheated and walked away without looking back. Once she finally caught her breath, she said the sentence that's been echoing in my head ever since. I thought you'd wait for me. I thought you'd be here when I was ready. I didn't even know how to respond at first. I genuinely thought I had misheard her. I asked what she meant by that. Calmly. No jilling. No sarcasm. She said she assumed I would take time to work on myself, and that I wouldn't jump into dating so quickly. She said she thought we were just taking space, not closing the door forever. That's when the confusion turned into disbelief. I reminded her, as evenly as I could, that she broke up with me, that she told me I wasn't ready for something serious, that she had asked for space to find herself. And then I said the thing I had been avoiding saying out loud to her. You cheated on me. There was a pause. Then she started crying harder. She didn't deny it. Instead, she started reframing everything. She said she never meant to hurt me, that things just happened, that she was confused at the time, that she felt lost, that she didn't think I'd actually move on, just step back. Then she admitted why she was really calling. The other guy didn't work out. According to her, he wasn't ready for anything serious. He only wanted something casual. No laves, no commitment, no future talk. She said once the excitement wore off, she realized she had been used. Hearing that felt surreal. She told me I had always been her safe place. The person she could rely on. The one who actually cared. She said she assumed I would still be there once she figured herself out, because we had 2 years together. That's when the guilt started creeping in. Not because I believed her, but because I could hear how convinced she was of her version of reality. Then the manipulation started. She asked how long I had been dating again. When I didn't answer immediately, she said, "So it didn't take you long to replace me." I told her I hadn't replaced anyone. I moved on. She said that was cold, that it hurt her to imagine me with someone else, that she felt like our relationship meant nothing if I could do that so soon. At one point, through tears, she asked, "Did our 2 years mean nothing to you?" That question flipped a switch in me. I told her the truth. I said those 2 years meant everything to me, which is why I didn't cheat. Why I didn't line up someone else before leaving. Why I didn't ask her to wait while I explored other options. I told her that loving someone doesn't mean putting them on pause while you test drive another life. And then I said the sentence I think I needed to say for my own closure. You don't get to put me on hold while you explore other options and then come back when it doesn't work out. She went quiet after that. I continued, still calm, but firmer than I've ever been with her. I told her what she did was cheating. Not confusion, not bad timing, cheating, and that the breakup wasn't about me not being ready. It was about her wanting a clean exit without consequences. She tried one last angle. She said she was in a bad place emotionally, that she made a mistake, that people deserve second chances, that maybe if I hadn't moved on so fast, things could have been different. That's when it finally clicked for me. She didn't miss me. She missed the safety, the validation, the certainty that someone would always be there no matter what she did. She missed having a backup plan. I told her I was seeing someone who treated me with honesty and respect. that I wasn't interested in reopening wounds I had worked hard to heal. I said I hoped she figured things out, but it wouldn't be with me. She cried again, asked if this was really goodbye. I said yes. After the call ended, I blocked her number. Everywhere. Not out of anger, but out of self-preservation. I told the woman I'm currently seeing about the call. She didn't get jealous or defensive. She listened, reassured me, and said she was proud of me for setting boundaries. That alone confirmed I'm on the right path. So that's where things stand now. I don't feel guilty anymore. Just sad. Not for the relationship, but for the illusion I held on to for so long. And for anyone wondering, no, I don't think she would have called if things had worked out with the other guy. Thanks again, Reddit. You were right. Final update. It's been a few months since the last update. Life has settled into a rhythm I didn't expect, but one I'm grateful for. My relationship with the new person I mentioned before has grown steadily. She's kind, honest, and emotionally present. There's no games, no manipulation, no guilt tripping. Just calm, quiet stability. It's peaceful. I can't remember the last time I felt that way. A couple of days ago, I ran into my ex. It wasn't planned. She showed up at a mutual friend's small gathering, the kind where everyone knows everyone. I saw her before she saw me. My stomach did that weird flip-flop, but I reminded myself I wasn't the person I was months ago. I had boundaries now. She walked up, smiling awkwardly. There was a different air about her. Not the confident, teasing energy I remembered, but something hesitant. She told me she had been in therapy and had been trying to understand herself better. Then, she offered what I can only describe as a half apology. "I'm sorry for how things went," she said. "I guess it was just bad timing." I paused, not out of indecision, but because I wanted to make my words deliberate. I said, it wasn't about timing. I wasn't not ready. I just wasn't willing to be disrespected. Her expression changed. A flicker of shock passed across her face. I continued, love isn't about cheating. It isn't about testing backups. It isn't about assuming someone will wait for you indefinitely while you figure things out. That isn't love. That's selfishness. She opened her mouth, maybe to argue or to defend herself. But I didn't give her a chance. I stayed calm, almost gentle but firm. "I've moved on," I said. "I'm happy, and I deserve to be with someone who treats me with honesty and respect. That's not you anymore." I watched her closely. The shock was there, but so was disappointment. The kind you feel when someone you assumed would always be there finally says no. I realized that this was the first time in our entire relationship that she didn't get her way. She tried to frame it again, almost pleadingly. "I've changed. Things are different now." I shook my head. You can't rewind the past or undo what you did. I can forgive, but I won't put myself back in a place where I could get hurt again. You need to take the lessons and move forward just like I did. She didn't argue after that. I could see it in her face. She had expected me to still be emotionally available. She thought that a few months of space and therapy would be enough to bring me back. But that's not how growth works. That's not how self-respect works. I left the conversation there. No jilling. No dramatic gestures. Just clarity. And for the first time, she heard a firm, unwavering no from me. After the gathering, I walked back to my girlfriend, hand in hand, and felt a sense of calm I hadn't experienced in years. There was no triumph, no petty satisfaction, just peace. The contrast between the chaos of my past relationship and the stability of my present one was striking. Reflecting on everything that happened, I realize now how silence and moving on can hurt more than any argument. I didn't need to fight. I didn't need to prove anything. I simply lived my life, built something real with someone who values me, and that was enough. That alone was the consequence for someone who tried to control and manipulate me. I've learned that growth is often boring. It's quiet, it's steady, and it doesn't come with the highs and lows of drama, but it's infinitely more satisfying. You don't feel in the moment. You just wake up one day and realize you've healed, that you've grown, and that the person who hurt you is no longer a part of your emotional ecosystem.
Thanks for watching Story Scroll. Hit that bell and stay tuned for the next story that will move your heart.